time for a review of The Life of Chuck. Mike Flanagan. Let me tell you a little something about this Donnie Mike Flanagan. Big player in the horror scene for a minute. He has been prolific, man. I underestimated just how much work this man's been putting in. He had 3... What the fuck is this? 3 movies in 2016, mate. Hush, Before I Wake, Ouija 2, Gerald's Game, Doctor Sleep, and then he had, And we only directed 1 episode of The Haunting of Bly Manor. I thought he was doing all of it. He did 2 episodes of Midnight Club, 4 episodes of House of Fall. I know he's got a Carrie thing. Hasn't he got like a Exorcist movie on the way too? This is one of horror's biggest names as far as modern horror is concerned. Definitely been a leading player in shaping the direction of what the average modern horror film looks like. And yet here he is releasing The Life of Chuck. This is very much not a horror film. This is his first non-horror film. It's labeled as a fantasy drama. I mean, I would call it a horror film. Here's a little story, actually, before I lead into like how I feel about the movie. A couple days ago, I went to go see Together, and I walked into the wrong screen by accident, and they were showing The Life of Chuck. And I was confused. I was like, what the hell? Is this an advert? Is the screen just turned on? What the hell is this? It was really dark. I was like, okay, it feels like, is the movie already started? What the hell? So I go to my seat. I'm sort of figuring it out. And then Chiwetel Ejiofor comes on screen. I'm like, oh, this is The Life of Chuck. I was like about to ask people around me, like, what has the movie started? Thankfully, I stopped myself, like, dude, people are watching a movie right now, clearly, like, shut up. So I left and it was just the opposite screen. And it took me like a good 20 seconds to figure out I'm watching The Life of Chuck and not an advert. And as I reflect back on my time with the film itself as a whole, that point becomes more and more relevant to me. I hated this movie. I think The Life of Chuck is a train wreck of a film. I passionately despised this movie, which is really weird because it's kind of just going for this sort of schmaltzy, like, life-affirming, uplifting, feel-good, sentimental thing. So it's like, this film I feel like is only spreading good vibes. There are elements of the film folks might find a little upsetting, depressing, particularly in the first third of the film, where I think the film makes an effort to, like, grab you at the very beginning with the most compelling sort of sub-story. One that will particularly strike a chord today. You see tweets and posts all the time, like, we're living in the end times, AI, blah, 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 like, blah, blah, capitalism. There are quite a lot of reasons for one to look at the world they live in and feel panicked and feel obsolete and scared. And I think The Life of Chuck is trying to bring some comfort to those people. I think it's done that as well. Plenty of people have connected with this thing. I've seen a fair few reviews on Letterboxd that are like, yeah, this film came right on time. This thing really moved me. I love this. The emotional gut punch. Thank you, Amanda the Jedi. Shout out this dude. Really, really great social media personality. He was all over it. Life's too short to repress your inner theater kid. You see, people are connecting and feeling free coming off of this movie, and that's awesome. I don't know if I'm just like a jaded prick, but yeah, this film could not have been less emotive, less uplifting. This thing, if anything, reduced my my will to live. Okay, it didn't. I'm joking. I'm being dramatic. So the biggest red flag in this film comes in the form of all that narration. Nick Offerman. There he is. Nick Offerman. You might know him from Parks and Recreation. You might know him from any of the films you're seeing on screen right now. He was in The Last of Us as well. An actor I typically quite enjoy watching. He provides voiceover for The Life of Chuck, quite a lot of it. He is narrating a lot of the movie. And I genuinely think my rating for The Life of Chuck would have bumped up like twice or 3 times if they completely cut all of his narration. He will constantly script out, read for you, just beat for beat, exactly what characters are thinking, feeling. He'll even try and get a little jokey with it, a little existential with it. The tone is just all over the place. Nick Offerman's voice kind of has that sort of hokey, comedic nature by default. I just didn't buy it at all. It just constantly took me out of the film, but when I actually zoned in on the content of what he was saying, I was just thinking like, dude, if you were not here, if you were not narrating anything, I would then be forced to engage with what I'm seeing on screen and infer things. Crazy concept. There's one scene in particular involving a drum dance thing. Nick Offerman over here, he's like saying, the drummer expects Chuck to just walk past, but Chuck stops for a minute and he thinks, no, blah, blah, blah. He just explains the subtext. That for me just removes any intrigue and why did he stop? Why did he do that? Why is she playing this particular beat? What's happening? Like, I want to look at it and just sort of come to my own interpretation. Nick Offerman's here to be like, nah, fuck all that noise, just listen to me tell you. And that's my biggest issue with the movie. I feel like it just sort of over-explains. It's so obsessed with just over-explaining shit. Actually, there's 23 hours and 56 minutes in a day. Maybe even 50% of this film's dialogue is just like straight up mansplaining. Mark Hamill teaching Chuck the importance of maths. Why are we being subject to this too? Like, I don't know, I feel like this film is just teaching like these kindergarten fucking moral lessons and expects us to be like, yeah, life is so cool. I want to be interested in the people I'm seeing on screen first and then explore those things. Don't just assume that you have like some voice I need to hear and give me like 27 pages of why maths is really cool. So on the nose, bland, and it had no perspective. This film had no fucking perspective, bro. Look at the trailer. Maybe this will remind me of some shit I hate about this movie. There he is, big hit. By the way, Hiddleston's in the movie for like 4 seconds. He's like marketed as the main guy in the movie, which I guess he is. It's revolving around his character. But if you're a big Hiddle head, yeah, run away, buddy. He does a pretty fun dance. But yeah, let's talk about Chuck. Let's talk about the character of Chuck. Awful protagonist. Just tell me anything about him as a human being. He's got nothing. I feel like everything you could like reach to say about Chuck is just the most baseline, relatable to literally anybody thing. He's just a vessel for the most like generic life experience, and as a result this film's got like no dirt. Like, I want to feel specific details and stuff. Don't just give me some blank canvas for every other character just like spoon feed the point of the movie to. And just as a human being, as a personality, Chuck just he has nothing. He's not witty, he's not really moody, he's just like a guy learning things. Isn't that cool? I don't know, I feel like this film should have like made me give a fuck about him first. Like, I don't ever want to see him learn something. I'm not excited to see his reaction when he like enters this part of his life or something like that. There's very rarely a moment where like you can really feel and tell that Chuck is like dealing with something difficult and you can just like absorb it as an audience member. This film would much rather just like have Chuck look pensive a little bit and then just have the narrator be like, Chuck was sad. Here we have the cast of the film. We got Carrie Gillan, Jacob Tremblay, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Mikey Mike himself. And as far as the performances go in the movie, to be honest, they're okay. I think Chiwetel and Karen Gillan were the best two. They're given the most to do, to be fair though. Like, I think they kind of collectively get the most like meaningful screen time. Mark Hamill, where is he? Mark fucking Hamill in this movie. Mark Hamill has a moment in the film where he is in the living room with Chuck and he's like telling some story about this dude named Henry. I was really fighting tooth and nail to just follow what was happening. It was so fucking dry. There is a moment in the movie where there's 2 moments in the film I can think of where some stuff happens to Mark Hamill's character a couple of times. He has like a reaction and it was so hard not to burst out laughing, bro. There's one involving a door that he wants to like keep secret. Like he runs to like hide what's in the door and it's so funny. Run is so silly looking and it's actually the one moment where I feel like Mike is channeling his like horror roots. It's kind of like framed like a jump scare and the shit just took me out. But then there's the second moment where Mark Hamill's like kind of dealing with some like health stuff and this bad shit happens to like his arm and he grabs his arm and makes this noise. For some reason the aspect ratio is like smaller and there's like a border or something. It's so fucking distracting. The whole movie there's a border. It's wide. So there's like this little dinky like smaller screen and it's like a wide shot and Mark Hamill, he just like grabs his arm and like makes this little painful noise. I was genuinely like I was like vibrating trying to like hold back the laugh because like it was very obviously not supposed to be funny. This film's approach to dealing with existentialism and like grappling with death, trying to make the most of your life and stuff like that. These are things that a lot of media has tackled and really resonate with you. The way Mike Flanagan wants to communicate this is not for me. The dance sequences, they're pretty, I guess, dazzling to look at, but I don't know, the novelty wore off pretty quick for me. But I can appreciate some good dancing, sure. The one where it's Tom Hiddleston was better than the one where he's a kid. Definitely some Disney Channel energy going on right there. Not just because they're young, but just the tone of the film has that sort of thing going on. There's actually a scene where the dance teacher, she's having a little moment talking, and one of the kids is trying to sneak off without even like looking over. It's like, come back, Marcus. Fuck off. Anyway, the film really telegraphs itself, and one way I think it really shouldn't have done it is by giving away immediately the whole reverse order thing. It would have been really cool if you, as a viewer, discover that it's all in reverse. I feel like the film is like really desperate to remove any potential to like figure anything out. The Mark Hamill arm thing I was just talking about earlier, that actually ends up being like this callback moment that was like a foreshadowing, and instead of having that be like a if you're careful you'll notice it sort of thing, they just tell you it. I fucking hate this movie, man. I fucking hate this movie. I've talked about, you know, the script plenty already, but I want to highlight another thing too. There are elements of the film, as in like the plot, like the events of the story, that have an innate mystery to them, particularly in the first of the 3 acts, or the last of the 3 acts. The very beginning of the film, like there is a sort of a mystery of what's going on. Like the world is doing things it shouldn't be doing, and the Chuck is like, who even is Chuck? No one knows who Chuck is, but everyone's seeing Chuck everywhere. Like it's this whole thing. That was a genuinely pretty cool hook. But the script is so uninterested in feeding into that mystery, or like giving you more to chew on, or like really stringing you along. Like you look at a film like Weapons, you know, not everyone loves Weapons. I think Weapons is fucking awesome, by the way. Big fan of Weapons. But one of the best things about Weapons has got to be its initial hook. And one of the many reasons I think Weapons is a great film is that it understands the power of that hook and feeds into it, and with every subsequent act, it has you leaning forward more like, yo, I need to see where this goes. It's engaging. The Life of Chuck has the complete opposite approach. Instead of like actually focusing on that mystery, it's like, nah, let's talk about the Suicide Squad. That's like the name the fucking hospital workers are giving themselves because they're killing themselves. What? Let's talk about how Pornhub's gone and how like all the websites are going. Like, I don't know, that shit is irrelevant to me. As I'm watching this video, I don't care about any of this, bro. I don't know who you guys are. The world's crumbling, and I don't know, like they're facing existentialism and stuff, and like they're considering, oh, is this the end of the world? But you don't feel any of that. Yeah, I don't know why the film just doesn't understand where its most interesting aspects lie. It's fucking infuriating. The fucking music is so annoying. Like, you know when you're watching a film with subtitles and it's like ominous music? I always look at that and think, like, don't tell me to interpret the music. I could, like, figure out that it's ominous, bro. What if I don't personally think it's very ominous? Frightening music plays, I'm like, oh, I think it sounds quite jaunty. The music in The Life of Chuck feels like it's doing that, but without the subtitles. This is how you're supposed to feel during the parts where it wants you to feel something, and I hate that. Shout out to Mike Flanagan. Again, he's done, like, massively good things for the horror genre. He's definitely an adept filmmaker. Visually, the film is very clearly competent, and it does feel like Mike Flanagan achieved exactly what he was trying to do. All of this is just how I'm interpreting what he's trying to do. I just think it's lame. I think it sucks personally. But hey, look, as other people disagree. This is working for many people. So all due respect to Mike Flanagan, I don't want this to come off too rude. I'm just trying to sort of vent off, just like unravel all the things I didn't like about the movie. And is that my phone? Not now, mate. I'm nearly there. I got one more point to make. I think as far as the, you are important, you're an individual, there's no one like you, like that message I think is communicated well enough. But how this thing tackles looking death in the face and trying to like really come to terms with it. I think Chuck's decision at the very end, like he has like a little mirage and then he reacts to it and that's the end of the movie. What he ends up deciding or concluding in that moment, and the more I've thought about it, I don't think that is an example of somebody really grappling with death in a tangibly like moving way to me at all. Outer Wilds did it better, baby. Anybody watching this who has not played Outer Wilds, stop what you're doing and play it. You don't understand. Just gotta check that in. I should do that in every video, to be honest. I need to be spreading the good word more, doing my due diligence. But yeah, keeping it spoiler free, but yeah, I think that ending is an absolute dud. I don't think we ever actually really see him understand and grapple his own mortality ever in the movie. At least not in a way that I felt any sort of connection to. Like I never felt like a tactile interaction with Chuck as a vessel for understanding his fleeting presence on this planet. Like I don't really think that happened in that final scene. Yeah, I hate this fucking movie. Shout out to David Dasmalchian for talking about Pornhub in a way that felt like it belonged in like an I Think You Should Leave sketch. Matthew Lillard has a very bizarre scene in the movie. He was kind of overdoing it a little bit. Looking at a 1 star right there. 1 single star, 2 out of 10. I think this film is fucking bollocks. Oh my lord, it is rough, man. Piece of shit, in my opinion. They're saying this might go all the way to the Oscars, bro. That'd be interesting. Anyway, love you. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.